Good evening, everyone. This is Joe Cruz, co-host of the Commissioner Corner podcast here on the Cruise Control Podcast Network. I am here on episode 5. My partner, Brian Gardenhire, cannot make it tonight. He is actually working out some people for the draft. So want to salute my man, Brian Gardenhire, aka BG for LS Express. But I do have one special gentleman here that was able to do this impromptu show. Tomorrow's the NBA draft. We called upon the one and only Corey Homicide Williams. And we have him live today. So before that, I want to give a shout out to Red Bull, who is a supporter of the podcast. And also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Hoops in the Sun. You can follow Corey Homicide on at C Homicide. And also, please press the subscribe button on the Cruise Control Podcast Network on Apple, Spotify, and all the main channels online. C Homicide, how are you, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm grateful, man. Just happy to be here. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's always great to see, my brothers that were a part of the beginning of, the evolution of me and this journey that I've been on. So just grateful to always talk with my people from day one.
No doubt. Well, listen, like I told you offline, and I'll say it to my fans. I've been a fan of you since day one. My pops thought the world of you at Nike Pro City and all the tournaments that you pretty much got your nickname, got it right. They got it right. That was right nickname. For the ones who don't know, I don't know what earth you're on, but this is one of the most humblest, dedicated, crafted men that I've known in my life in the basketball. That I would say the I forgot what rap song was it. C Homicide. I'm a legend in 2 games like Pee Wee Kirkland. You a legend in 2 games. One you played and one you broadcast. And I'm so happy for you to have you on, and I'm so happy to know that you're doing well. Your family's safe and sound, and I am so proud of you in terms of what you've been able to do over in Australia, man. So pleasure to be on the Commissioner Corner podcast, man.
Man, thank you so much, man. I'm just grateful for these opportunities, and when you get these opportunities, I just plan to knock every opportunity out the park that I really get, because it's rare, you know what I mean? It's rare, that if you're not favored, you don't get multiple opportunities. So if you get it, you had got it in the beginning, you're getting it out the mud. Like, you got to be grateful for every one of them, because it's not a lot of them coming, if any, and you got to maximize it. So, one thing that I was always grateful for was the ability to maximize something out of nothing and create more. You know what I mean? So just grateful for these opportunities, man.
Hey, listen, I've seen you. I've seen your work. I've seen your craft. I've seen your grind. I remember those days when you had GMs and executives at Dykeman watching you play and get an NBA contract, and that story that's so heralded in your life has propelled you to another life, and you've been able to really share your expertise and your criticism on some of the top ballers that play in your league, the NBL, and also in Australia. So I want to get right to it. So for the ones who know Corey on the basketball court, Corey is an assassin, but he also knows the work, he knows the job, and he is a pro basketball writer and broadcaster for the NBL, which is the National Basketball League. And I wanted to ask you a quick question. I know the NBA draft is tomorrow. I know your phone is buzzing. I know you got a lot of love coming your way. How excited are you for this upcoming draft tomorrow night?
I'm really excited for the draft because, look, I'm lucky to be able to work for the hottest league in the world outside of the NBA. That's just what the facts are. It's just the truth.
Talk your shit, baby. Talk your shit. Let's go.
At the end of the day, every continent has a wave. You know how this thing goes. Everything has a run and it has its wave.
For sure.
Europe been the wave. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
We know what's going on there. But after a while, Asia became being the wave. After Steph set the tone, NBA players started going there, and it became the wave.
Gotcha.
And it still is a wave.
Right.
However, now it's time for the NBL league to really be the wave. When I say a wave, I'm talking about the world takes notice. And what occurred was Jeremy LaLiga and the team, who's the commissioner of the NBL,
Right.
that team created something called the Next Stars program, which basically was, the NCAA been jerking dudes forever, right?
Yeah.
They make a whole lot of money off your back and you get nothing for it. And they made sure that, first of all, basketball is the only league where you have to go to college to become pro in the NBA. Every other profession, you could be pro from whatever age.
That's
it's just
true.
us.
That's a
So
fact.
what happens is guys, they implemented that one and done rule, or you have to play overseas
Right.
to be eligible for the draft is what I'm talking about. So the NBL created the Next Stars initiative, which allowed guys who were potential one and done players and one and done talents to skip college, come play pro, work in your game, get the experience, build your body, play against men in a world-class league, which pretty much if you're up for the challenge and you're good enough, it'll up your stock. And that's what really set the world on fire. RJ Hampton came over, he announced first, which shocked America. And then right after, Melo signed, right?
Crazy.
So that's the beginning of it. And then that put the world on notice. Now, the last 5 years, the resurgence of the NBL has been ridiculous. Larry Kesselman, who's the owner of the league, has done a ridiculous job. A lot of times, people talk the talk and don't back it up. Yeah. This is the owner that's going in his own pocket and funding this league.
Wow,
like
really? That's crazy.
Wow. That's crazy. So, as passionate as I am about the game, when I played it and when I talk about it and the lifestyle that I live with it, he's the same way. He just didn't play. This is his baby, and he really wants to see it do really well, which it's doing. It's partnered up with the NBA. It's done preseason games. He pretty much brought the whole league to do NBA preseason games in the NBA. That's never heard of. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Unheard of.
So you can come here. You know what I mean? Like you could really come here and get a legitimate look from the NBA to go to the NBA. Imports and locals. It's happening right now. So you top all of that up with Melo and RJ signing, it's a melting pot ready to blow. So for me, the breaking point and the turning point was this season.
Okay. So I can say safely that you're excited for this NBA draft tomorrow. And what are you specifically excited for in terms of your vision, your lenses of basketball, but also from a broadcasting standpoint? What are you most excited for tomorrow?
Well, I'm one excited at the fact that RJ Hampton and Melo, right? RJ is going to be a lottery pick.
For sure.
And Melo, my opinion, he's going number one. What I appreciate about that is, a lot of times, when your platform's smaller, you could be talking some real shit. But because the platform isn't as big as the major leagues, a lot of people don't pay attention. Right? That's just the reality. You know what I mean? You could kick your shit and have 500 followers. People are gonna be like, well, he can't be popping for real because he only has. And that's the nonsense with social media and the platforms. Like they'll gauge you based on the amount of following and views you have. Doesn't mean that what you're saying is true or impactful or not. That's just how the game goes, right? Fair enough. NBL isn't a big platform like a lot of these bigger leagues. So and Australia is so far away, and it isn't known specifically for being a basketball powerhouse country, like the professional league compared to EuroLeague, Spain, Italy.
Right.
But I'm telling you, with me saying the stuff that I'm saying, trust me when I tell you, I saw this kid play his first game. Before I saw him play,
it's my Melo. Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
We're New Yorkers. We don't care where you're from, how you do your business. Prove it in front of us. If you don't see it, it ain't official. All respect to the Drew League. I got nothing but respect for the Drew League. What we do on the East Coast is what they do on the West Coast. However, do it here. Do it in front of me. I don't care about the highlights. I don't care who you're playing against. Let me see it in this league. Because when you're playing against grown men, who feed their family with this money. If you're not with your family and your kids, guess what you're doing? You got child support to pay. You got a mortgage to pay. You know what I mean? You need to live. You want to play for your next contract.
Yep.
Ain't no way you letting a little kid come in and you be a part of his highlight tape. That's just not what we're about. Definitely not what I'm about. So if he's in front of me, I'm going to ensure I'm locking that shit up and I'm going to bust his little young ass.
Yeah.
That's my mindset,
Right.
right? That's
Yep.
any dope mindset I know. They came on the NBL show, which I have to say, which is our award-winning show. Shout out to NBL Overtime. We won an award for the best basketball media show in the country. So shout out to ESPN Australia, and shout out to ESPN New Zealand. That's where we air our show. So they came on the show. You know me, all business. What's up, young fellas? Y'all good? I said, name the top 3 point guards in the league. They weren't even able to do that. I just slapped the table. You ain't doing your homework. This shit is real.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what you up against. Preparation is power. Get your mind right.
Right.
So I wasn't there for the shits and giggles, is my point. I came in real and direct. First preseason game Melo plays. After that, I'm there. They're playing against the 6-time defensive player of the year. I need you to understand what I'm trying to tell you. This is a point guard who is a 5-time champion, 6-time defensive player of the year, Australian Olympian, and like he's a big deal over here. Put it to you like this.
What's his name?
Damian Martin.
Woo! Okay.
He is the benchmark for import point guards. Oh, you think you're killing this league? Okay. Let's see what you do against Damian Martin. Like, I'm trying to just set the stage for you to understand the type of defense he plays.
Right.
Their team are the New England Patriots of this league. They win most championships in this league, the history. They went back-to-back last year. He was a part of it. He then retires. They give him the medal for defensive player of the year. So now his face is on the medal and his name. Just setting the table.
Wow.
That's the first game Melo plays against that guy.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
This is what his numbers were.
Talk to me.
19 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, 4 steals, and he wins in overtime.
Now, did he start that game, Hamo?
He started that game. This was the first preseason tournament. Wow. 28 to 30 NBA scouts in the building. Right there, I said, I just watched the #1 pick in the NBA draft. I didn't need to see anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I saw the team he played against. I saw the toughest defender he played against. These are guys like they don't take nights off. You get what I'm saying? So it's not like he played against like the worst team in the league. He played against the best team in the league and did that and won. I did not need to see any more because what I'm looking at it is who's the competition you're going against as far as potentially being #1, right? As far as point guards, let's talk about point guards in the NCAA. Who are they? You know it better than me. At the time, it was Cole Anthony, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Cole Anthony.
Shout out to Cole. Wow. Right? Point guards, yeah. I have to think about that, but he
Tyrese Maxey. I think that's the kid at Kentucky.
Kentucky,
right?
Yeah.
They got another kid who was at, I think, Iowa State, right?
Yep.
Cool. These are the point guards he's going at. I'm talking about in college.
Okay.
Who had the better season? Melo averaged 17, 7, and 7. Okay. Who did that in college? Mind you, overseas, you cannot dribble to get an assist. College, you can take 2 dribbles and get an assist.
So what's an assist? And what's an assist? So explain to the fans. Yeah. Okay.
So to get an assist internationally, playing ball overseas, it's catch and score. It's no catch, 1 dribble score.
Okay.
Catch and score.
Wow. So that makes the game even harder to get those.
There you go.
Right. Okay.
So how hard is it? So now, what is that in college? And he's doing this against grown men.
So in reality, if he averaged 7 assists a game, right? If you count the American game, you give him 1 dribble, he could potentially double that. Potentially, right?
Look, I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now. based on this draft class, he's easily the most talented player. And for me, easily the number one pick. We're from the old school. We're from an era where we say, if a kid is good, we don't care about his age group he's playing against. Let's play him up and see what he does. That
And
kid was 18,
played up.
17, 7, and 7. Okay. On top of it, his last 2 games, back-to-back triple doubles. Bro, listen to me, man.
I'm listening to you. That's why I have you on. I'm listening to you. You preaching because I know there's people out in the world, and you know them very well in the line of work you do, or even in sports or whatever these broadcasts. They worry about his weight. They worry about his dedication to the game. They worry about his father involved. Whatever the narrative is, you had a front row seat to see this young kid perform at the highest level in the league that you played in, respectfully, right? If I'm quoting it correctly.
Yes.
And you're saying that these guys have to eat and these guys have to survive. And you're telling me a young kid that gets imported to play in a new league to go up, he is averaging 17, 7, and 7-4. That's for me, from you telling me that's incredible. And on a consistent basis, and him being 18 years old.
Now, for me, right, we all know any kid coming in and playing against pros, every game is not going to be a great game, okay? Defensively, he showed lapses a lot, but he was willing to get better every game, right? Is he where he needs to be at defensively? No. What 18-year-old is? What 18-year-old is coming into an adult league locking people up?
Unless you're a big man with a 7-foot wingspan, you're not going to get that.
No, it's not happening.
Not happening. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you need to adjust to the next level. So that's fine. He needs to adjust on defense. But the biggest thing about defense is what? Effort. And he showed the effort to want to get better. Okay. Then his shot selection. He showed the effort to want to get better. So if I'm a franchise owner, right? Yep. And we're looking at it like the lottery came and all of that. We know this. And we're looking at it at value for money, right? And who is the best possible fit for our franchise? Look at the order. You got Minnesota, you got Golden State, you got Charlotte, right? All right. Anthony Edwards is a dog.
Okay.
James Wiseman is a dog, right? Minnesota, you would not take, let's just do process of elimination. We're going to make this easy.
Yeah, let's do it.
James Wiseman, you wouldn't take him. Why? You got Cat there, a.k.a. Karl Anthony Towns. So it's pointless to take a young center at number one, who you have to play when you have an all-star center, right? Cool. Anthony Edwards, dog. We've seen that before. Okay, we've seen a young guy that just gets buckets. We've seen that before. That's nothing special, with no disrespect. We see that every year. Kid is freshman averaging 19, 20. Good player.
Just like Andrew Wiggins that was at Minnesota.
Yeah, we see that all the time.
Yeah.
And they want to win now, right? Minnesota. So if you draft a guy we've seen all the time before, nothing new. He doesn't come in immediately and give you impact immediately. Melo Ball, number one, right? 6'7". People don't realize how tall this kid is, right? 6'7", ready now. They have D'Lo, who's a point guard.
Correct.
Who's an all-star.
Correct.
He can slide to the 2. Can they get that done together with that backcourt? I don't think so. Here's where I go with this. But who holds the highest value between those 3 guys? Because if you want to win today, if I'm Minnesota, if I want to win today, I'm going to take the most valuable guy out of those 3. Do you know how many teams want Melo Ball? I'm gonna, yo, listen.
Everybody.
Plenty teams want Melo Ball.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would draft him at number 1 and I would package him in a trade to get an immediate, impactful 2 guard to put alongside D'Lo. That way, I get what I want, and whatever team that has valuable picks at that shooting guard position, and that but want a point guard, I would do business with them. And that's what I would do in terms of Melo Ball. I'm not going to keep him, but he's more valuable right now than Wiseman, and he's more valuable right now than Anthony Edwards. I done seen him played against pros. At the end of the day, Wiseman, I don't know what he's going to do. How many games he played this year? I don't know.
I don't know either. Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Anthony Edwards, I know what he's going to do. You know what I mean? But I'm not taking him because the value that I need, I know Melo will provide now as far as trade bait. Too many teams want him and would give up so much for him. So that's why I say he's the #1 pick. Gotcha. And, you know, I mean, to be honest with you, at that point, when you go 1 or 2 or 3 in terms of this, it's really about what teams need what fit.
Right. So would you be surprised? I mean, I know you're excited for RJ and for
RJ's going lottery. Like
he's going lottery.
RJ for me, he's a lottery pick. I say his maturity level for his age is unreal. He's an ultimate professional. He's been in the gym. Penny's his mentor. Mike Miller's his mentor and shooting coach. So he's developed his shot. No short of confident. No, not a inch short of confidence. You know,
he got money. He got some money too.
Yeah. Oh, super athletic. I think he's wiry. He could play multiple positions on the perimeter. Yep. And I just feel like any team he goes to, he's going to be an asset. It's literally about him landing on a spot with the right coach that'll give him the opportunity to rock. You know, it was tough for him here because the team that he got on, they were stacked. See, Melo, it was Melo and Aaron Brooks in the backcourt. So Aaron Brooks got injured, and they was like, all right, Melo, well, here you go.
So this is the Aaron Brooks from Oregon that played in the NBA?
Yes, and shout out to Aaron Brooks. He came down here putting in work, but he just popped his Achilles. He came in putting in work. But, you know how these injuries go. You know how that go. But I think that, you know, it's easy to say if the roles were reversed,
right?
You know, RJ would have been in a position where he was playing 30 minutes a game, 32 minutes a game, and he would have had so much opportunity to show everything he could do. And I believe he would have excelled as well. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it doesn't take away from the fact that he still had a good season.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of questions, and I know we went over the place. But I want to have a question from the fans. Why would you not choose Anthony Edwards if you're trying to get a 2-guard in Minnesota? I know you mentioned my trade bait. And would you be surprised if LaMelo is not pick #1?
Well, again, I would be surprised if he wasn't pick #1 because it's situational. You know what I'm saying? Maybe another team would do, I'll take Edwards, a young 2-guard, and I'll give you more of this savvy 2-guard we have here isn't working. So let's just do player for player. Yeah. I can see that happening. So it's situational, you know, and those are conversations happening behind closed doors. But I just feel like there's just no way you pass up on a generational talent at 1. There's just no way.
Got you. So this is my question for you. And we mentioned earlier, you covered LaMelo, you covered RJ Hampton, and they did the untraditional route to go to college. They went to overseas. How important is it for the NBL and these guys to get drafted tomorrow, in your opinion? How important is it?
I think that it just doubles down on the actual mere idea of having the Next Stars initiative. That's what it was for. Give guys that opportunity to come to a league, come to another country this league is ran as professional as they come, you know, from top to bottom, from the towel boy to the floor wiper to all the way to front office. Like it's a great league to be a part of. It's a great league to work for, and it's a great country to be in. You know, it's about to be summertime here. You know, I'm very fortunate to be a part of the league in the way that I'm in. Like I'm on the front line. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, you're an ambassador. You're an ambassador.
yeah,
You're an ambassador, and you have a voice that reaches across the water and beyond.
no
Uh,
doubt.
and you've been a fan of the league. You play in the league, and now you broadcast. Now, so what are some of the fans? What should some of the fans know about these two players that they don't know about already? From what we heard about online, and what you guys show us, what what can you tell fans that they should know about these two wonderful young men that they don't know about in the mainstream?
And that's beautiful because we're not even going to talk basketball right now. We're going to talk real life. I'm going to start with RJ. RJ Hampton's family is a beautiful family. His mother pushed education first. I had a couple of times to sit down and break bread with them over breakfast. He has a little brother. His mom's in education. He graduated high school in 3 years.
Wow.
He didn't even play a senior year. Like, who does that? You know, his senior year. No, this is interesting. His senior year just finished, and he opted to go play overseas his senior year. That's
Wow.
crazy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
So,
crazy.
you know, and his dad is off the hook. His dad is one of us. I love him. Shout out to Rod Hampton Sr. Funny as hell. You know, he played overseas when he was older. So he has the grounded family to keep him grounded, you know, and I mean, that's the biggest thing. You know, a lot of times when you're dealing with these big franchises, they worry about, okay, now you have this newfound fame. Can you handle yourself off the court? And that's where we see a lot of players have these issues because they don't have that support off court.
True.
RJ Hampton has that. His foundation is rock solid. That's a big thing. And that's what helps his maturity and how he carries himself. So that's what organizations need to know, that this guy, you ain't gonna have no problems with. And they're here to work. They're here to get better. They're extremely passionate about getting better. His family and him.
Right.
You know, so that's like a big factor about RJ.
And about Melo, what should fans know about Melo that maybe they don't know about in terms of what social media or media kind of dictates nowadays?
I think that he also was a worker bee. He came in and they took no days off. Days off. The team had days off, and he was on the beach. You know, everybody thinks about, when I say on the beach, I'm talking about on the beach working out, doing defensive live like Steph and Sebastian. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 530. You know, Jamel Thomas, like those type of workouts, working on weaknesses in the gym every day, before games, after games, they going to work out. So, you know, their mission was to come here and prove to the world that I'm going to use the NBL Next Stars program to be the #1 pick. So for this to happen in this way, it's, you know, he basically spoke it into existence. You know, what people don't know is that he's a young humanitarian. You know, the bushfires are bad here, like how it is in California and Oregon, with, you know, just forests just burning down, people lost homes, and, you know, communities just completely destroyed. And he donated a month's salary to the bushfire victims, 18-year-old, a month of his salary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that right there just shows character.
Right.
You know, so just little things like that.
Do you feel, Hamo, do you feel that his dad still affects teams from selecting him? I know there was and you know the story, you know, with with the other brother Ball. Do you feel like his father has that kind of, I don't want to say stigma, but do teams feel more hesitant now than like before? Now with Melo, is it more hesitation in choosing him as a draft pick?
I think that I mentioned this on an episode on our show, and I'll mention it now. I was extremely reluctant to believe that this was going to be anything but a shit show.
Okay.
I'm going to keep it a buck.
That's why I love you. Keep it a buck.
So I thought when Melo was coming, it was going to be a circus.
Facts.
You know, we saw, you know, LeVar's a control freak. I respect him. He put his kids in a position to win, and they all winning. That's all you want as a father. That's all you're supposed to do. You guide your children, you keep them out of trouble, you protect them, and you put them in a position to win. They all be millionaires. They're already millionaires, but they're all really about to be millionaires, right? That's what you want. Job fucking well done. But it started to become distasteful, you know? So when I say he was a control freak, I meant from the beginning, right? What do dads do when they don't trust AAU coaches? I'm gonna make my own AAU team. Y'all gonna get all the shots, y'all gonna play. We go from there. Then put them in the school. I don't like that. I'm gonna create my own league, right? He did that. Here's the ball, do your thing. Then from there, we don't like this. We're going to Lithuania. We're going to collaborate with a team. Here's the ball. Do your thing. We're controlling this whole thing. You know what? Forget all these sneaker companies. We're going to have our own shoe. Put these on. Do your thing. Right? Yeah. This is controlling the narrative. But once Lonzo went and everything he said, he spoke to existence. My son belongs with the Lakers. Magic drafted him. But mind you, Lonzo was killing at UCLA. So whatever his dad was saying, Lonzo's play matched. So it's like, yo, this is real. This is true. But then the mistake was he tried to control the narrative of a pretty much damn near $1 trillion company. NBA. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't go on TV talking about Luke Walton is this and Luke Walton is that, and the Lakers, one of the most historical franchises in sport. You can't do that.
Right.
So then he got silenced, basically. Dips to Lithuania or however it went, but then he disappeared. Can't be around the team no more. So I thought that, we all thought that type of LeVar was coming here. And this would not be the situation. LeVar should be thanking God for Jermaine Jackson, who's Melo's manager, his right-hand man. That's the big brother for him. You know, another big brother and a mentor. You know, when Jermaine Jackson played about 17 years, all right? Journeyman, played in the league, went to the University of Detroit, was a big dog there. They went to the tournament, upset a bunch of teams. He had a hell of a career playing. This is a guy that speaks the language of international basketball. He played the game. You know, his mentors, Larry Brown, Stackhouse, AI, all the big dogs in the league, respected. You know what I mean? So for him, Melo to be up under him,
that's tough.
That was the game changer. Trust me, this wouldn't be the situation if it wasn't for Jermaine. Melo got to play. He got to play. Right. But that type of support that, you know, we ain't about the talking.
Yeah.
We're about handling the business this way. And if it wasn't for him, this wouldn't be the situation.
So before I get to the panel questions, I have one question. You mentioned it earlier. If there are weaknesses, and there are probably weaknesses in these two gentlemen's game,
of course.
What are the weaknesses for Melo, respectfully, and what are the weaknesses for RJ, respectfully, that you feel right now, as they get drafted tomorrow, that they have to really work on? And
both of them,
game,
right? Both of them, it's just more about the consistent jump shot, the consistent three ball, knocking that down. You know, these days nobody takes mid ranges anymore. The mid range game, only DeMar DeRozan and Kawhi Leonard. Those are probably the only guys shooting mid ranges. You know what I'm saying?
Chris Paul.
Right, but it's a lost art of the game. You have to be able to stretch the floors consistently to where defenses have to respect it. You know, so I think you have to show and prove you can do that, and more Melo and RJ show defensively. Continue to show your growth and effort and your ability to want to play defense. And I think it's more RJ just getting that opportunity to really, really show what he can do. You know, Melo's going to have, he's going number one, so he's going to have no leash pretty much. It's like, yo, you know, get with a player's coach and hopefully get with a player's coach and, you know, like a Doc Rivers or something like that. You know, those type of coaches that's just going to let you just, you know, go, we'll reel you in when we need to, but, you know, you're going to have to play through some mistakes to get better. So, yeah, I think that really, I think this year mentally was their rookie year. That's what I'm going to call it. They did their rookie season.
Good point.
So they're going to come in ready to be impactful. So I'm really looking forward to watch their journey, and I'm just glad that I was just a part of it in the beginning.
Do you think in your professional assessment and just playing overseas, you think it'll be hard for these two gentlemen to adjust to the NBA game now playing a year solid overseas in terms of the rules being different and the style of play in the game?
No, I think they'll transition easy. You know, a lot of the games, really, to be honest, is really about remembering your plays.
Yeah,
It's about the system that you're going to be in. It's about the support of the coach, and it's just going to be more about the number of games you got to play.
right.
I mean, these kids are babies. Like, they got energy for days, so they'll just be excited. And I think they'll be so, like any rookie, they'll be so up for the challenge because it's like, yo, like I just played in a real tough pro league that's really physical, you know, and NBA is more free flowing and they blow the whistle way more,
Copy. Good
you
point.
know, so I believe they'll transition just fine.
Got you. I got a question from Michael Patrick. He says, if Minnesota does not draft him, do you believe Golden State with the second pick will keep him? Do you feel they'll keep him or move him, even though they have Steph and these other guys at the position that you mentioned so well that he fit into a lot of positions?
Yo,
They'll keep him.
that's a great question, but James Wiseman fits so well with Golden State. You know, he'll come in and be impactful, just getting so many looks off of the Splash Brothers. But when you put that into perspective, just think about it from this aspect. Imagine Melo. Yeah, that's really team light skin on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? Red balls on the perimeter.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
That would be incredible because technically, for me, Melo's a pure point who can score.
And I feel like maybe the question that Mike asked was actually on point because, like you're saying, like think about it, like Golden State doesn't play traditional basketball. They play no positions, right? And
positionless basketball.
Yeah,
right?
what kind of basketball do you have? Steph and Melo and Clay and Draymond and whatever that it goes, like that would be awesome. That'd be like the Don Nelson days where you just
just play.
Yeah, just play.
Just play. I think that would be incredible too. But I think me, I can't see him not going. I just can't see him not going one.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna take your assessment, and I trust you like no other. So when it comes to that conversation, I'm gonna go with that. But if you was Jermaine Jackson, or if you was his agent, and somebody asks you what kind of player is the NBA getting with LaMelo Ball, what would you say, and how would you say it?
They're getting a generational player. You know, we haven't seen this since like a Penny type of player. You know what I mean? Like that's just his type of vibe. And then on top of it, you're gonna get damn near sold out arenas. You gotta remember, man, this kid, we ain't seen nothing like this.
No.
You know, I'm just talking about like off court. Like I look at them like literally like the basketball Kardashians. You know what I'm saying? And Kris Jenner's LeVar Ball. But it's just their last names are Ball. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
You know, you got one brother already in there. You got another brother about to go, and then the other brother's going. You know what I'm saying? They signed with Roc Nation, 2 out of 3 of them, right? Now you align Hove with Melo.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You talking about this culture? Like, come on, B. Look, he got 5 million followers already. How many people are going to want to watch this guy play? When he was going out playing in high school, what was those gyms looking like?
Yep.
So when we're talking about what people don't understand is this kid been famous. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they're not. This isn't the story where it's kids come from nothing, coming to a bunch of money, and coming to a bunch of fame. Yo, you seen the big baller brand house?
Yeah.
Yo, man, listen. That ain't this. Like, it's not that hood story. You know what I'm saying? Where the hell is Chino Hills? Where is this?
That's true, because we're so conditioned to hear that story to now it's a different narrative, and they changed that in terms of families that have it together or have an idea to put together, but I think the marketing behind what the father did with these wonderful sons is incredible, and they have a different story to tell, and they tell it to different parts of the world, different people that can relate to them, and that's what makes them so special. I just want to let you know that your comment about Team Light Skin is going viral on hashtag. So I just want to let you know.
Yo, Team Light Skin is crazy.
It's going crazy.
Like,
so let me ask you, what's the best fit for? I mean, what's the what can you say if you was RJ Hampton's agent in an NBA office saying, what are we getting with RJ? The same way you just explained about LaMelo.
Right. I think, listen, man, you're getting a kid that's polished. He's gonna come in ready to go. You're talking about a Swiss Army knife. He could do a lot of different things. You know, he can play defense. You know, he loves the up-tempo type of play. Yeah. Super athletic, extremely quick in transition, especially kind of like in open court. He moves like Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean? He's getting to it downhill. Like he was one of the fastest in this league. 3-4 dribbles, end to end, finish. You know, type of player. So I just know that the energy, the attitude, the effort that he's going to bring, and the work ethic that he's going to bring to that organization, like he's just going to be one of those guys that you want to have on your team, who's willing to work. And I know he matured. There was a whole lot of stuff transitioning off and on the court with his team last season, but I think throughout all the trials and tribulations that they had and went through, it's helped them. You know what I'm saying? And I know he's going to be a better pro because of it. So I'm really excited to see where he lands. And like I said, man, he's just a great young man, you know, right. So mature, and just he's a certified professional.
Gotcha. So if you're NBA exec, and let's put on your NBA exec hat, what do you think as team wise is the best fit for LaMelo and RJ Hampton? If the order is different, what team you think would be a good fit for these two gentlemen?
Well,
in your opinion.
Yeah, I would like to see Chicago would be dope for Melo. Detroit would be dope for Melo.
Nice.
Real talk. I mean,
nice.
You wanna have him in a situation where it's not a complete rebuild team he's going to. You want to have pieces around him where they can win some games, you know. So man, that kid would be good. He'd be good in a lot of places. Even Toronto, he'd be good. You know what I mean? I could see him in Siakam. You know, Golden State would be crazy. You know?
Team Light Skin.
Listen, that right there, that'd be crazy. You know, where you have legitimate studs on the wing, where he's coming down and just facilitate easy, you know, and it's going to be so open. Look, what's that high screen and roll looking like? You know what I mean? You can't leave these people on the wings.
And you got Andrew Wiggins. And you got Andrew Wiggins too as another scorer. So it's crazy.
That would be dope. You know, Mike love him. He had a great workout with Golden State. He had some really good workouts with Minnesota. I mean, it'd just be interesting to see where he lands. But I would like to see, regardless of where he lands, it's a coach that's a player's coach.
Gotcha.
You know, so that's what you want. You don't want a coach that's gonna just suffocate him. This is a guy where he just needs to play. Direct him, give him directions, lead him, you know, tap him when he's wrong, but you know, let him play. I think the same with RJ as well. You know, I think these guys need players, coaches with structure. You know, I'd love to see RJ at home with the Knicks, to be honest with you. Melo would never get to the Knicks. I think there's just no way for that to happen. I'd like to see RJ with the Knicks. They have 2 RJs, you know. Man, I think RJ fits with any team because he does a lot of the little things. He does a lot of things. You know, these guys just don't do one thing. So they're gonna add value to several teams.
And what position do you think that RJ will play? I mean, obviously we know Melo is a 1. It could be probably a 2 when he gets his jump shot in order and defensively gets adjusted. What position do you feel RJ can kind of impact right now in the league?
One. He's a scoring point guard. That's what he is. You know, you never take him off the ball. These guys aren't lethal shooters to be starting their careers at any other position but what they've been born to do and been playing. So
Right.
RJ's a scoring one.
So you brought up the Knicks. My brother's a big Knicks fan. I live in New York, and I know you've been here, pretty much all your life. What is the best option for the Knicks at number 8? And do you agree that they try to make this Russell Westbrook trade really happen?
I would love to see. Look, Russell Westbrook. Look, my two favorite players, James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Those are my two favorite players. Ask me why.
Why?
James Harden proved you could play street ball in the league and kill Russell Look, that's number one. The joy I have when I'm seeing James Harden play street ball.
He
averaging 30.
He changed the game, bro. He
got MVP of the league playing street ball.
Man,
it brings joy to my heart.
Absolutely.
Just because of my journey, when people be like, street ball, you can't play in the NBA, street ball. I'm like, look what's going on right now. And he's cooking. And mind you, he's not advancing, not because of him. It's because of the teams he's playing against. You know what I mean? Remember when Chris Paul got hurt? He don't get hurt. They go to the championship.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. They go to the chip. They would lose. They lost to Golden State twice. Golden State went to, I think, win both or win. I think they went to win both.
I think they would have won both.
Yeah. KD was there, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And then you're not beating KD. And then you just lost to LeBron. You're not beating LeBron and anything. So my point is, it was working. The street ball play. Now Westbrook, I love him because like Westbrook, it's just his attitude. Like, I don't care who. He got a New York attitude.
That's what my brother said. He was just so
for New York.
Yeah.
He got a New York attitude. He got a New York style of play, and he got New York written all over him with his fresh. He's the freshest dude in the league. So he's Broadway ready.
Yeah.
Come on to NYC. He's perfect.
And do you okay? So then we're gonna stay on this. So, Knicks.
Go get Obi Toppin. Shout out to Obi Toppin. That's what the Knicks need to do.
I was gonna ask you. The Knicks got number 8, and say Obi and Cole Anthony's on the board, or even I know if RJ's on the board, you prefer to take RJ, but I'm saying if Obi and Cole, meaning from New York, and go in the draft, who would you want to see and why the fit works with what they currently have now? And if you add Westbrook, does that change your perception of who you choose?
Well, Obi's top 5, so Obi's not even going to be there. If they get Westbrook, you don't go with Cole. But if they don't get Westbrook, I mean, if you could bring a New York point guard home who's legit like he is, young fella could go. Don't get it twisted. He got injured. He can go. I'd pick him.
And who you like? So describe Obi to me in terms of how if he's on the board, he'll be off the board. But if he's on number 8, they select him and they make the right choice. What does Obi bring to that franchise?
Obi is New York City. You know, it's in his blood. It's in his DNA, how he's built. He's the best player in college last year. Why would you not get him if he's available? He was the best player.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of times outside of maybe top 7, you don't really know. You know, you gotta remember COVID slowed up everything. It stopped everything. So sometimes March Madness didn't happen, and that's where guys have to really show what they're really made of, because now you're playing against top comp, you know, en route to the Final Four in the championship. So some that really got the game, we wouldn't know, because you know guys blossom in that tournament. So it's just going to be tough. So we're basing off body of work, you know, based on how he was able to just dominate. Like, you're not player of the year if you're not the real deal. That just doesn't happen. You don't get that award if you're not the real deal. So everything New York embodies and needs, he has. I would take him.
One of the people I speak to now in the podcast world, because I'm jumping into your world now, say that Obi's comparison, whether you like it or not, he compares to like a Amari Stoudemire. Is that a fair assessment to you? And we know how Amari did work here. You feel that's a fair assessment on Obi's game in terms of him, if he's picked the number 8 for the Knicks, can he kind of play like Stoudemire?
Well, that's a hell of a compliment, first of all, because Stoudemire was the real deal. His whole career.
For sure.
If that's what the assessment is, roll with it. I just love how athletic he is. Look, man, he's a dog. It's in his DNA. He's a New Yorker. He embodies that. So it's of course it's going to work.
Yeah.
Just the way he goes about his business is going to work. So
and we know his father very well, and he had a great upbringing.
Kobe, no doubt.
That was Snoop, right? That was Snoop Dogg in the street, right?
No doubt.
You just showed up, and he had a 3-pointer. He had a dribble. He could go by. You could slash. You could lay it up. You could dunk it. I mean, I played with Obi Senior,
right.
And he made point guard job much easier and made it fun. And I think that's what we'll see from Obi. So, I mean, I know you have lineage with the Pops, and I know we do. So, I just want to. I'm just amazed how to see that young man become who he is and follow the trajectory that the parents want him to take. And I'm so proud of him. And I know tomorrow will be a big day for him and the family. So I'm just excited to see him go wherever he goes. But as a New Yorker, we want to keep it, Cole or Obi. How do you feel Cole would fit in with the Knicks in terms of what their guard play is? They have a lot of guards. If they choose him, how do you feel he'll fit in with the Knicks?
Well, if they choose him that high, they're going to have to start him at the point. They're not bringing him off the bench behind anybody. So I believe if they do choose him, there's going to be some serious trades going on in the offseason, this is the offseason, which is right now. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to move a lot. But I think if Westbrook if that rumor has legs for him to come, they won't pick him.
Man, I listen. Draft days are great, but draft days can be sucked when they're on that clock, man. When they're on that clock, I have no idea what they're going to choose, man. So I want this interview to go out today, just in case anybody comes across your knowledge and us having a conversation that the Knicks got to get it right, man. You can't. They got to get it right, man, because you know what? Like, you see what they're doing in Brooklyn, though, right? You see what they're doing slowly and surely. You see what they're doing, right? So my thing is, you bring Westbrook, right? And if you don't put anything around him, how long can he stay? He's 32 years old. He's massively aggressive. And if you don't play up to his aggression, like he will dog you. Like, yo, bro, you're not playing with me. So you gotta put bullies. You got to put dogs around him. So I hope they make the right choice, and I hope they make the right move, because it hasn't been the same in the last 10, 15 years for New York in terms of the Knicks. And I want to see them successful, because when they're successful, the league is successful. But I'm just really scared about, what do you think about this Brooklyn Nets combination, man? A lot of conversation been coming up in terms of James Harden joining that team already that's stacked. What do you think about that move?
Well, I thought about this yesterday.
Take a deep breath. It's your favorite player. Take a deep breath, because this can be epic, man. Epic.
Any man that turns down 2 years, $105 million, $103 million.
$103 million, my brother.
That's just astounding to me. You got to remember, we are in a pandemic, and he turned down that. What is that? Player option?
Player option for $50 million. That was for the year. Yep.
Bro. Like, I was speechless at that point.
Yeah, that spoke volume to me. That spoke volume. That means he's either really serious about moving. He don't have any trust in the Rockets organization to proceed.
Yo, who turns down $50 million, bro?
Man,
that's just crazy to me. But moving forward, that just goes to show you, he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuilding process. He wants to win. Now, if they were able to make this trade play happen,
right,
and that big three is formed, there's a new king in town, and that's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
They will be, for me, favorites to win. because you got, oh man, Kyrie, Harden, and Durantula, bro. And all this pandemic did was give injured guys way more time to get right.
That's right.
Shout out to Ryan Forehand Kelly, which is the assistant coach for the Brooklyn Nets. Did a podcast, had him on. He was like, yo, tip off, they ready to go.
They ready. That's a fact. We forget that we're entering the NBA season in December, which would have been Christmas Day games with about maybe 20, 30 games, 20 games in, like crazy. And now Durant is healthy, Steph Curry's healthy. And then and then like LeBron's like, yo, we're gonna start them again. Like these guys are like, oh man. But I heard they might give up Karis LeVert. I heard they might give up Karis LeVert and some other people to get Harden. I love Karis.
Everything pretty good. They're gonna have to give up a lot.
Yeah.
But you'll take a lot being gone when you have that three-headed monster, because offensively, you already know that. Come on, man. Offensively, you know the load is being carried between those three. That's no problem. That's no problem.
And on any given night, Hamo, and you know as well, any given night, those guys can go for 40, and the other two can
40 clip. 40
and
clip.
Like Harden can't pass the ball. It's not like Kyrie can't pass the ball, and it's not like KD can't pass the ball. You still got big man in the middle, Jared Allen.
Yep.
You might keep Joe Harris. You might have some players, kind of salvage, and you do free agency. You pick a few. That and with Milwaukee making their move, getting Jrue Holiday, and getting Bogey.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, that might be that might be the next two best teams in the East. I mean, you think about it.
Don't forget about Miami now.
Respectfully, I love Miami.
Right.
Right. But you have an equalizer that's you have two NBA MVPs on one team that average over 30 points a game in their career on the same team. It's amazing. Like to see that, but I love Miami. So
I'm with you. I'm with you, bro. Trust me, I'm with you. But I'm just saying that East, that's no longer a cakewalk.
No.
It's no longer a cakewalk.
I agree. So continuing down, my question to you. So you had said that Obi might be off the board early. What number do you think Obi will be taken, and what number do you think, or what team do you think Cole Anthony will be picked up if it's not the Knicks?
I don't know, because after a while, it's really just going to be who's available.
Okay.
I haven't looked at the draft board as far as who has what picks after the third pick. It's really just going to be like availability.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It really is. So.
Okay.
Plus with the trades, man, you don't know who's going to get traded, what's happening where, so.
I have some comments here. Brooklyn Nets is willing to spend money to build a team. New York Knicks is not. I think that's true.
Bro, you spend money on your team. You're going to build a dynamite team. New York is still New York. Do you know how much money off the court there's out there to get corporate? New York could kick back like this. New York is the Knicks are trash and worth $1 billion. So imagine if Brooklyn, all Brooklyn is doing is getting their equity up.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna go surely with that team instantly. What's that team gonna be worth? You know what I mean? They just drowning out New York. So they're like, Dolan, keep doing what you're doing, no problem. We'll get it over here. We're gonna convert your fans to be our fans. And that's what's gonna start happening. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. It's New York, man. It's competitive.
It is. So I have 2 questions from the fans, and this kind of goes back into your March Madness conversation. How tough is it for teams to draft players when there are no March Madness tournament and a true summer league and training camp?
It's extremely difficult. And that's why I said, like, after like maybe the first 7, 8 picks, everything else is a coin toss, because you're based it, you are definitely basing your picks off of like what, 10 games? Guys play maybe 12 games or something like that. You know how hard it is? It's all just a flip of a coin at that point. Literally, you can see guys in the war room like, yo, all right, heads we get this guy. Tails we get this.
Oh man.
So think about this, right? Think about this. How many times in the NBA we see guys in college? I mean, I'm sorry, in the regular season in the NBA, they play like, you see glimpses, and then playoffs come. Unfortunately, you shouldn't play like that, but unfortunately, a lot of guys play like that, right? I am sure that's what guys were doing a lot in college. I'll get right. Come playoffs, I'll be come tournament, I'll be ready. You didn't get that chance. That'll allow young players to know the true meaning of play every game like it's your last, because you never know. And now, is your body of work for this season that just finished in college, which was abruptly cut, was that the best version of you at all times? You got to look at yourself in the mirror to determine that. Nobody saw this coming. You know what I'm saying? Nobody saw a pandemic coming, shutting it all down. But the reality is, it happened. So this is a wake-up call for everybody. Keep being the best version of you. Push to be the best version of you. Push to put out the best person and the best human you could possibly be, because you don't know when things are going to go bad. And ultimately, that's the body of work they have to show to determine your fate in the draft.
Yeah. I got one more statement before I let you go, because we're hitting an hour. I know you got other things to do, respectfully. Somebody said on LaMelo, he's got to be a big deal to have a Puma deal even before he gets to the league.
Let's talk about it. This would be great to stop. The deal is rumored to be $100 million and the private jet. I dropped that in December. I dropped that almost a year ago. People looked at me like, man, get the hell out of here. What you talking about? I was like, I'm just telling you what the rumor is. But again, when your platform isn't as big as like a Wojnarowski, shout out to Big Woj, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Who's been doing this for many, many years. No one doubts what Woj said. A lot of people be like, yo, if Woj don't say it, we're not believing it.
He's the oracle. Like, he's the oracle. He's the oracle.
Yeah, he's the oracle. So, I get it. But, when these things start to come to fruition, people are seeing. And, there's nobody giving you that type of money if you ain't the real deal. I don't care who you are.
Hey, I love you. I got one more question from Michael Patrick. He said, ask Hamo, who is the one person in the draft that no one is talking about and they should be?
Damn. Well, oh man, I don't know off the top of my head, but I got a guy. I don't
mean to catch you on the top.
Remember his name. I don't remember his name, but yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have it, info in front of me to tell you. But there's one guy who's just a legitimate scorer. Like he is. Oh my God! You know what? Let me see if I can
take your time. Yeah, I'll wait for you because I know this.
See if I can find it, because this kid, when I tell you a bucket getter, small school, but
now take your time. We're good. Take your time.
Yeah.
Because these fans are hitting me up. I gotta make sure I talk to these guys, man. So they're gonna. While you on, I might as well ask you that question and we'll wrap up.
Oh, there we go. His name is this dude is real. He goes to Grant Ryler, College of Charleston. Listen to me, bro.
Okay. What's his name? Let me write it down. What's his name?
Grant Ryler.
Okay.
Grant Ryler. Yep. Riller.
Got it. Okay.
Listen, College of Charleston. Dog. Buckets. Yeah. So wherever he lands, he will be an asset.
True gem. Okay. Well, listen, man, on behalf of Joe Cruz, Randy Cruz, the Commissioner Corner podcast here on the Cruise Control Podcast Network, I want to thank my man and my brother, Corey Homicide Williams, for sharing some time with us tonight. Corey, I wish you all the best, man. You know that you're one call away. If you need anything from me, me and my brother adore you and love you for what you've been able to do for basketball in New York City and as well as abroad now. And we always one of your biggest fans. So just let everybody know what you got going on. Let them know where to follow you at and kind of let them know where to follow the NBL so we can get our fans in tune with that.
Man, get across it. NBL.com.au, NBL on all streams. That's the handle. My handle is C Homicide on everything. Instagram, Twitter. Yeah, that's just where I'm mainly at. You know, so I just thank you for the support. I love you, bro. Y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Thank you, man. I love you, man. And I appreciate you. Go do your thing, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You already. Peace.
All right. Peace, baby. All right, everyone. So this is episode 5, the Commissioner Corner podcast. Thank you for all our fans tuning in. Big shout out to Red Bull, our supporter for the podcast. I just want to give a shout out to my man, Brian Gardenhire. He could not be here tonight. He is definitely dedicated to the show. He told me to make sure content was still going. And I hope that we brought you a great guest to talk about the NBL, talk about overseas, talk about 2 of the youngest and brightest players coming into the draft tomorrow. Tomorrow, the NBA draft is on ESPN, I believe, 7:30. I know all New York fans will be tuned in. So let's hope for the best. I want to take an opportunity to shout out the Cruise Control Podcast Network. You can press the subscribe button. It is free. It's on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and all your major social media platforms. Please press subscribe. We'll bring you high-level content, and we need the support. Support is free. So on behalf of my partner, Brian Gardenhire, our producer, Randy Cruz, the Cruise Control Podcast Network, the Commissioner Corner Podcast, we're out, and we'll see you soon. We'll have a show tonight at 8:30. We'll keep posting on that, and then we'll take a week off to let the NBA draft go, and we'll come back next week. So thank you for all that tuned in. Continue to be safe. Wear a mask, and you can follow us on @HoopsInTheSun and @Commish Corner on Twitter and Instagram. On that note, episode 5 is epic. I'm signing off. Have a blessed night.